Hi, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Dr. Webinar. I'm Vincent over here. Okay, before we start, let us do a sound check. If you can hear me well, can you please type in the 111 for me at the chat box? Thank you so much. Okay, thank you. All right, I'm Vincent here, and I will be your main host and translator for today's session. I'm take care of the operation for Asia market so that you can actually conduct and develop your business here seamlessly. And of course, I'm really happy to see so many of you today again. Okay, we actually have a session yesterday, but today, I'm still seeing some old faces. But it's good that you have attend the session, to know more, to know more about the products. And thank you for taking your time off again to participate into this session to enrich yourself. As for those who wish to listen to Mandarin, okay, you may tune in to the Mandarin session by clicking on the interpretation button below. Click on the Mandarin, and of course, we also have the Thai translation today. So if let's say you want to listen to the Thai translation, click on the Japanese button. Okay, Japanese button, and okay, right now, very importantly, I hope that everyone here have already started to book your vaccination. And I know some country might be a bit faster, some a bit slower, but whether you have been vaccinated or not, it's definitely very important for us to take good care of our health. Of course, as of now, it's best to work from home and do meeting like now, like Zoom meeting now, or Go meeting, or whatever meetings that you can do online. And unless really we have no choice, then we actually go out, wear a mask, go out, practice safe distancing, stay away from the crowd, and sanitize your hand. Most importantly, I think what we can do at our level is actually to improve our body immunity, by taking the balance oil elixir, and supplement our body with sufficient vitamins and nutrition. Today, a doctor will be discussing with everyone, the importance of having the right ratio of omega-3 and omega-6, and why is it so important to have balanced oil in our diet. He will also be touching on the very important tool, which is our balance test. In fact, over the past few months, I have been speaking to a lot of potential partners, and I can tell you that the balance test that we have over here is indeed the deal breaker, whether they become our business partner or whether they become our customers. Okay, this test is actually one of the key drivers as to why Zinzino is growing rapidly worldwide as well. And until today, we had done, I checked before the session, we had done about 690,000 tests, 690,000 tests, which is yesterday I still see like it's like 680 plus, but now we are closing into 690,000 tests, and the number is just like growing every week. As we continue with our global expansion, I'm sure very soon we'll reach 1 million tests and beyond. And by the way, for those who are new, okay, welcome to the session. Zinzino is actually a public listed company that is based in Sweden, and we are also the world leading company in fatty acid tests with the largest database. And Zinzino has been serving many customers, satisfied customers in the Europe over the past years, because our balanced oil and balance test that I showed you earlier. And soon, with the expansion to Asia market and worldwide market, we will be bigger than ever. And also, before the end of the session, we will open up the field for some Q&As. And this is an amazing opportunity for you to ask Dr. Abraham anything about health and products. All right, I'm sure over the past week you have encountered queries from your customers, so get them ready later. Can get them ready, type it out later on in the chat box, and we will answer them during the QA segment. Before we start, let me give you a short introduction of Dr. Abraham. Doctor is based in Malaysia and has been in the medical field and worked in the hospital for more than 40 over years. And even though he's a medical doctor, he truly believes in the holistic approach to keeping our body healthy. All right, he is also now in the scientific advisory board for Zinzino and has been working very closely with the rest of the board members so that they can actually develop better and wonderful product for you and for the market. So without further ado, okay, let us type in 888. Give our warmest applause to welcome Dr. Abraham. Doctor, please.
Hello, good evening to everyone from this part of the world. Most of the attendees are from East Asia, including Singapore, Malaysia, Taiwan, and Thailand. If there's anyone from outside this area, please indicate so that sometimes we tend to use expressions that are common in this area, and we want to make sure that you are included in the understanding of that. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Today we are going to touch on, well, we have only one product, it's omega-3, and therefore we need to touch on omega-3 and 6. And for those of you who are listening, I want to place this with the right perspective. Okay, when we look at health, it is important that we compare ourselves with only ourselves. Not everybody is made the same. All of us are basically the same. We have a heart, we have two kidneys, a liver, and a spleen. But when you come down to the level of the cell, there is a huge difference between people. On the outside, it is expressed in your face. Look around and see, there is no one in the world who looks like you. They may be quite close, but you are unique. Okay, so we have a lot of common things, but we also individually have a lot of unique things. That includes our health. Some people are born with good health. Some people have health challenges right from childhood. Okay, so if that is the way we are made, then whoever has challenges will have to put in more effort to maintain his health. Now, you may go out and buy a car. One guy buys a Mercedes Benz, another guy buys a Nissan. Now, you may have to put in more care to look after your Nissan. Okay. But if you are careful, it might outlast the Mercedes, which wasn't looked after very well. So don't worry too much of what you have inherited. You may come from a family background with a lot of genetic handicaps. But if you apply yourself, you will enjoy the best health that you can. So nowadays, don't focus on longevity, how long you can live. The longer you extend it, you are only extending your old age, not your young age. So what we need to focus on is health longevity. We want to live healthily as long as we can. Okay. Now, there are certain basic requirements which you cannot escape. First thing is oxygen. We live in an environment where we have about 20.8% oxygen, which is not enough. So on and off, you must make an effort to breathe in a bit deeper, get more oxygen. You may do it consciously. You may want to do a bit of exercise. Whatever you do, make sure you get more oxygen. It is the most important thing in life. Without it, in 5 minutes, we are dead. Fortunately, oxygen is free up till now. So don't neglect it. Make use of it. Number 2 is water. And your body is anywhere between 55% to 70% water. The older you get, the less water you can hold. So an elderly person who looks a little wrinkled, shriven, he has got about 55%. If you look at a young infant, he's got close to 70 or even slightly more. Either way, more than half our body by weight is water. Why? Because we have to have trillions of reactions, chemical reactions going on in the body. This can take place only in the medium of a fluid, and that is water. So you need to supply the water not only for the chemical reactions, but also to get rid of waste matter through your urine, sweat, the bile that is secreted and comes out in the stool. All these are channels to eliminate waste matter. Only if you have enough fluid in the body, all this can be done efficiently. So don't forget to make sure that you drink enough water. Oxygen, water. Number 3 is diet. Now, why we talk so much about diet is because in the last 70 years, the way we eat, what we eat has changed a lot. At the same time, our lifestyle has changed. Now, the number of people living in towns and cities compared to rural area has passed the 50% mark worldwide in this century over the last 20 years. So there are more people living in cities and towns than in rural areas. This is simply because of the development that we have gone through and the improvement in agriculture. So we can grow food with less people and we can feed a lot more people compared to, say, 200 years ago. So we have all moved to the cities, and now food has to be shunted from the rural areas to town. That takes time. So you need to pack food or prepare food in such a manner that it doesn't go bad. So we can talk about canned food, packed food, vacuum packed food. But the thing is, basically, the food has to be harvested many days before you consume. So this time gap reduces our nutrition quite a bit. Okay, not to mention that the agricultural practices are such that we grow our food on soil that is depleted. We use pesticides more. All this adds to it. How does it affect us? We are a generation now, and in my opinion, this is the hardest working generation in the world so far. There is no off time. You are supposed to be available 24/7, either on your computer, on your handphone, some reason, and whatever work you're doing, you have to take your work home to complete projects, write-ups, reports, and so on. So we work very hard, okay? Now, the harder you work a machine, the better raw material you must provide. In the human body, you must give more quality nutrition. At a time when the workload has increased dramatically, the quality of our nutrition has actually gone down. Yes, we grow more food. Nobody is going hungry. We haven't seen famine in the world for the last 3 decades. And even before that, it was more a distribution problem rather than the amount of food that is available. However, the quality of food has gone down. I want to give just one example before we move on. If you look at oranges, for example, the amount of vitamin C that was in an orange 100 years ago and today has dropped anything between 30 to 70%. So you don't get the same vitamin C that you had before. We have crossbred, we have done orange growing in such a way, we have made the fruits bigger, sweeter, and quicker. It grows quicker. Only when fruits ripe, they bring out all their nutrition and enzymes. Now we harvest them before they ripe so that we can transport them in time. So people who get to buy and eat it, it ripens at that time. That kind of ripening, which doesn't happen under the sun, is not as healthy. Don't get me wrong, we get a lot of nutrition, and that's the reason our lifespan has increased over the last 50 years. But over the last 5 years, they are seeing the lifespan plateauing, and in Western countries, it is beginning to drop again. This is partly because of the decreased nutrition in the diet, and increased demand by the body. Okay, now let's look at the nutrition. There are two parts to the nutrition. One part is the large part, the other is the small part. The large part, or what we call macronutrients, is carbohydrates, protein, and fat. All of us eat more than what we should, at least in this part of the world. We eat more number of times and we eat more than what we should. We can afford to cut down. Now, the three large nutrients: carbohydrates, protein, and fats. In today's session, I want to stick to the fats, okay? Because nutrition is a very big topic. We'll stick to fats this evening. Now, if this is the larger part of the nutrition, just to mention, the smaller part by weight is minerals, vitamins, enzymes, antioxidants, and phytonutrients. They are only in milligrams, but they are very important. Now, that we'll leave it for another session because we do have a product that covers that. But today we're going to talk about fats and omega-3. We need fats. Fat is important. Without fats in the diet, we will die. Not tomorrow, but over a period of time, a few weeks, you can die if there is no fat in the diet. You can do without carbohydrates, but you cannot do without protein or fats. Now, because of that, the body is able to consume almost any kind of fat, break it down to its constituent parts or smaller parts, what we call fatty acids. And when it gets into the body, it will use this fatty acids, or you can say use this as bricks to build up the kind of fats that our body needs. And where is the need? The kind of fats that the body needs is used up for many things. The first simple thing is to give us protection. It is deposited under the skin so that the temperature in the body is regulated. Outside the body is the temperature is lower. Those of us who live in very hot countries, it may be higher. So the body will sweat and help the body to maintain a particular temperature. In cold countries, the body has to generate heat and maintain the temperature. So the fat that is accumulated under the skin helps us with that. And also the good side effect is if you have normal amount of fats, you have less wrinkles. Okay, as we get older, this capacity goes down and we see a lot of wrinkles in the skin. The next important thing is fat is deposited around our organs to cushion the movement. We jump, we fall down, we run, we climb stairs. All this involves movements. Now, this movements, the organs also has to move, but we can't move the organs too much. And this is cushioned because you have a little bit of fat around all organs. Too much fat is bad, but the right amount is helpful. Now, the important part where the body uses fats is to synthesize hormones. 20% of our hormones are fat-based. That is percentage of the number of hormones. But the volume is produced accounts for almost 80% of all the hormones that we produce. So you can see volume-wise, the fat which is used up for hormone production is very important. And the next thing that is important is structure. If you look at a human being, what we see is a body. That is the first thing that we see. That is a structure of bones, muscles, tendons, ligaments, cartilage, teeth, and so on. Okay, we have 630 over muscles and muscle groups. We have 200 plus bones, and all of them come together in about 130 different joints. Some joints move, some joints don't move. We know what are the joints that move. All this requires a certain amount of fat to maintain the structure. If we do not have the right kind of fats, you can get into a wear and tear of the skeletal system where you get arthritis, joint pains, cartilage worn out, teeth dropping out, and so on. Okay, so these are areas where fats are important. Our body takes care of it. We need to consume healthy fats. It means that fats from vegetables, seeds, or even from animals that are clean and pure. When we use chemical methods to extract oil, and oils are fats, fats are oils in normal temperature. Cold temperature, they become solid and we call it fat, but both are the same. Now, we now extract oil from vegetables and seeds like soya bean and so on, kacang, or rather peanuts, by chemical methods. Why do we do that? When you do that, you get more oil out of vegetables and the seeds. At the same time, because it is a chemically extracted oil, it lasts longer. You can clear the smell. It looks cleaner, and therefore it can be put on the shelf and help you to use that oil over a much longer period. But in the process, you have to change the molecular structure of the oil. Now, after one generation, we find that that is very bad for health. It produces a lot of free radical activity. On top of that, when we do cooking, we heat up the oil to very high temperatures for a long period of time, which further spoils the molecular structure. Not only that, sometimes we use the oil repeatedly. We not only fry it once, we fry it again and again. Now, this happens in the commercial sector. That is why when you eat outside, make sure you take minimal fried food. Okay, we have no choice. We live in a world where we have to eat outside many times. But however, we have a choice, and try and keep the choices to minimal fried food when you eat outside. Okay, so these oils must be taken cold press. So when you do your cooking at home, use cold press oil. When you take meat, you get also fat from that. Make sure, or as far as you can, make sure you get clean meat, not too much fat attached to it. Okay, fat is a good solvent for pollutants. So if you take too much animal fat, a lot of pollutants come dissolved in that fat. When you take meat, there is already enough fat in the meat. So extra fat, keep it to the minimum, maybe for taste. And if you can, stick to animals that are grown with natural food, either grass-fed beef, or if it is pigs, then make sure that the feeds are, well, you have no control over that, but you can make some inquiries and see which area you get better meat. Okay, so now you can consume any fat, good fat, and the body will break it down, resynthesize it to the fats, and the body needs hundreds of different types of fat in the body. Okay, it makes that. One major part where it contributes to the structure of the body is the cell membrane of every cell in your body. And the lowest number I have seen is 10 trillion cells in our body. most people quote 100. Let us take the lower figure, and the lowest figure I've seen is 10 trillion. That's already quite a lot. Now, the covering of that cell is a tough membrane. That membrane regulates a lot of activities of the cell. With so many cells to regulate, so many cell membranes which must be healthy, we have to make sure it gets the right raw material. By the way, the cell membrane is 50% fat. 50%. Out of that 50%, a major part of it is a type of oil we call omega-3 and 6 combined to form what is called phospholipids. So we notice that there are certain fats that are important for not only the big structure of the body, but at the cell level, the structure of the cell itself. However, there are two fats or two oils the body cannot synthesize, and it is essential that we make sure we get it in our diet. These are essential fatty acids or oils or fats, essential fats. Now, the names given to it, we have to follow biochemists, so we call them omega-3 and omega-6. This must come from outside. Our worries become less because in our diet, we have more than enough omega-6. So we are left with only one oil that you have to get from outside. However, I must mention that both these oils should be available to the body from the outside, and they must be available in the right ratio. If you don't have the right ratio, the body gets into a process called inflammation. Traditional Chinese medicine probably describes this best: heatiness. Okay, inflammation is good for the body. Traditional Chinese medicine recognizes that. That is why they tell you don't take chilling foods, cold foods, take more heaty kind of food. But at the same time, they have supplements or drinks to cool down the body. They understood that inflammation is needed for healing, but if you have too much of inflammation or occurring in your body or continuously over a long period, you can get problems. What are the problems? Nowadays, lifespan has increased, and we realize what are the problems. We live long enough to experience these problems: high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, heart disease. Now they are saying inflammation can lay the foundation even for cancer. American Cancer Association says cancers take, depending on the type of cancer, it can take anything from 2 to 20 years to develop. Okay, so certain cancers, when we get it and we are diagnosed, don't think it happened just about a month ago. No, it's been going on for a long time. For that to happen, you have to lay the foundation. So it's almost a lifetime of being shot on certain things which create inflammation in the body. Don't get me wrong, inflammation can be caused by excessive work, not enough sleep, too much stress, all that. On the nutritional side, if you don't have balance of omega-3, omega-6, inflammation will set in. And if you get it right, you can cushion the inflammation that comes from stress, not enough sleep, and so on. I'm not asking you to cut down on your sleep, but this can help. It can overlap in helping. Okay, so how do we get our omega-3 and the ratios right? The first thing to do is to cut down omega-6. We take too much of that. By that, I simply mean cooking oil. Cut down on your cooking oil, and you will find that you get more than enough of 6. Now we get way too much. From the blood tests that we have done worldwide, including this region and in Europe and the US, the ratio seems to be 1 part of omega-3 to about 15 to 20 parts of omega-6 in the general population. The ideal ratio would be 1 part of omega-3 to 3 parts of omega-6. You can see the big difference. So because the omega-6 is on the high side, we need to cut that down. That doesn't need expenditure. You can probably save some money. Look at the amount of use of oil, or how many bottles of oil you use per month in your cooking, and maybe you need to cut down a little bit. Now, on the other hand, you need to take omega-3. 100 years ago, when all animals were normal fat, either grass or rail food, even though they are land animals, they had more omega-3 compared to now. Okay. Nowadays, we have to rely on seafood for omega-3. And the funny thing is, omega-3, even from the sea, is found in adequate amounts in fatty fish like salmon, cod, and so on. These are very expensive, and that is not the ideal or the best way to take omega-3, because fatty fish come with a lot of fat, which is omega-3. They can also come with pollutants from the sea. All over the world, they are talking about pollution, not only in the air and the atmosphere, but also in water. Okay. So where can we get it? It has to come from supplements. We have no choice. Now, if everybody in the world takes enough omega-3 supplement from fish, there will be no more fish left. So we are in short supply. Already studies are underway how to harvest more from vegetables in the sea, which has omega-3. Zinzino is the only company which has got research in this area and have already started producing oil from algae, the vegetation in deep sea. It's not available in our part of the world yet. It is a bit costlier, but it's coming. And that is the trend of the future. The more that is produced, the cheaper it will become. And then you don't have to worry about killing all the fish in the sea. But for the moment, we have to take a fish oil. Studies show that those who took fish supplement improve in their health, particularly in their heart health of the heart and blood vessels. But they also find it is not as much as was expected. Marginal improvement. And so further studies have shown that when you process the fish oil to get omega-3, we are not only getting rid of pollutants, but also a particular kind of antioxidant, which is always found with omega-3 in nature, which is being taken off. And so in supplements, we get only the plain omega-3, which is better than nothing. However, you don't get 100% of the benefits. What Zinzino has done is it has restored this polyphenols, antioxidants. Polyphenols, by the way, is a group of antioxidants, and there are a few hundred different chemicals in that group. Now, these polyphenols have been re-added back to the omega-3 fish oil in the right amounts, so that the omega-3 will be absorbed better and used by your cells better. Have you benefited from previous omega-3 oils? I am sure you have benefited. However, it is difficult to say how much. And again, for the first time, a company is offering a test where you can actually check by pricking your finger and giving just 2 drops of blood to where you stand with regards to omega-3 and omega-6 ratio, whether you have got the balance. And this balance is so important, so much so that the omega-3 oil that Zinzino markets is called balance oil rather than omega-3 oil. So we give you omega-3 with the antioxidant groups called polyphenols. And because polyphenols, the biggest supply comes from extra virgin olive oil. So we also bring along the extract of the olive oil, which is another omega oil called omega-9, which you get in our product also. Okay. Now, because vitamin D also exists in fatty fish, we have also taken the opportunity to restore that, and we have added vitamin D3. So each serving of balance oil will give you about 500 international units of vitamin D3, which is very important for our immune system. Now, the immune system requires more than that, which means it requires zinc, it requires selenium, and so on, and many other things. But D3 is an important component. So we have a product that provides you with adequate amounts of omega-3. The normal requirement is about 500 to 800 milligrams, and our serving will supply you 1,229 milligrams to make sure that you make up for the shortfall and you never fall short of it. Okay, omega-9 and vitamin D3. So it is really value for your cost, and this is something that you should look at. Take the test before you start the product. You will know 2 things: whether you are balanced because you haven't taken any supplement, or if you have taken an omega-3 supplement, has that been helping you? So your test will reveal that. Okay, consume Zinzino balance oil for 120 days. Why? That's 4 months. That's the time it takes for all the 5 to 5.5 liters of the blood in our body to change completely, so that you reflect a complete change. And when we test again, we'll know whether your body has done well with this product. Okay, many of the consumers in this part of the world are not so patient. Some of them went on to do their tests in 2 months' time, and they were quite surprised that they have improved. The ratios have improved. Now, the experience in the lab that does this test is, as Vincent mentioned, 680,000 tests that they can rely on, and that's the largest database of testing for fats in the bloodstream. So they give you a very comprehensive report, not just omega-3 and 6. They give you, not just omega-3, but also omega-6, omega-9, saturated fats, and also give you an assessment of your immune system, your cell fluidity or strength of the cell membrane, and so on. So there's a lot of information in the report, not just omega-3 and 6 ratio. Okay, so it is worthwhile doing the test. Take the product, test again, and you will be surprised. The experience in the lab is 95% of the people who have taken the product show improvement, a positive, measurable improvement. Now, that's amazing for a single product, 95%. Now, you may ask, what about the 5%? So actually, the lab reached out to the 9%, and they found a majority who did not show any improvement were people who were not able to take it on a regular basis. Either they were traveling or sick, or they had other things to do. They neglected taking it on a regular basis. Okay. So Zinzino balance oil will not only give you adequate amounts of 3, will give you the right ratio, and also offer you a test by which you can confirm personally, confidentially, whether you're moving in the right direction. Thank you, and I'll stop here for any questions that you may have. There is a question I noticed. The test report is very much complete after being tested for 120 days. It's not very clear, but my guess is, are you going to reach the best levels after 120 days? You may not, because your deficit may be very big. Now, if I give you $1,000 and your bank account is 0, you have gained 1,000. If you have a deficit of $1,200 and I give you 1,000, you still have a deficit of 200, much less. Now that will be shown in the report. So even if you are low, let us, by the way, we have seen, because this patient was willing to share the result, young man living in town, eating outside 100% of the time, his ratio was 1 in 100. I don't think he's going to hit 1 in 3 in 4 months. But if he hits 1 in 20 in 4 months, wow, that's a major improvement. Okay. So if you are somewhere around 15 to 20 to 1, you will probably hit 1:3 in 4 months. But anything worse, it might take a bit longer. Okay. Consuming balance oil, can it improve eye floaters? Flying mosquito eye, wow. Catch the mosquito. Now, that's a very important question. Now, must be from a senior person. Now, if you look at our eyeball, it is a closed system. So the cells inside the eyeball also needs to be changed, and the eyeball sheds the cells. But there is a system where our eyes will digest these dying cells and take them out, and there is a route near the lens where it can take out. This system gets less efficient as we get older. So some of the cells will float in the eyeball, and you have what is called floaters. Okay. Now, there is no medication for this, but this must be tackled before it occurs. Yes, taking the balanced oil will help with this before it happens. So after it happens, I don't have to take it. No, no, no. Please take it. You know why? It will not get worse. It may help to clear. I cannot guarantee you that, but it will not make, it will prevent you from getting worse. Okay. Can a customer do her test after a COVID vaccination recently? Yes. The test is quite different. It doesn't check on your antibodies, or doesn't disturb any other parameters. Like, for example, if a person is diabetic and he needs to check his sugars every 2 or 3 days, they can still do it after COVID vaccination. And this test is just similar to that in the procedure. It doesn't take anything more. How many days can dry blood in the test kit? Now, that's a good question. Technical question, but a good one. You see, what happens is, if you send your blood overseas for testing, you have to send it as a liquid, and there are rules that regulate biological material that is transferred overseas. Here, when you put 2 drops on the card, the liquid part of the blood, which is approximately 54 to 55%, dries off and leaves only red blood cell there. And that is what we are going to test for the fats. So that will not get broken down. Let us say it gets broken down. It doesn't matter, because the testing nowadays is by electronic methods and very sensitive. Somebody has promised to do the test today. Wow. I have prospects who are taking other type of vegan source oil, sacha inchi oil. How can we advise them? Okay. This is something that needs to be clear. Can you get omega-3 from vegetable sources? Okay, very nice question. There's a long answer. Very briefly, omega-3 is a family of oils. And there are 2 items there that the body can use right away. That is EPA is one. The other one is DHA. However, if the omega-3 comes from a vegetable source, it is 1 or 2 steps before that. And it has to be converted by your liver to EPA, DHA, which is okay. However, the conversion is not efficient. Okay. And it is calculated that only 10% gets converted. Now, interestingly, if you are a pure vegetarian, the body can convert more. So if they are true vegetarians, probably they'll get more. Okay. Now, do they get more from our oil? Yes, they will get 100%. Does it mean that our source is non-vegetarian? Indirectly, because the fish gets its omega-3 from algae in the sea. It only carries the oil and provides it for us. Now, how the vegetarian wants to view will have to be decided by them. However, Zinzino also has an oil that is extracted directly from the algae, which is a vegan certified by the vegan group authorities in UK. Why UK? They're very fussy about certification for vegans, very fussy. They have certified that ours is vegan omega-3. Unfortunately, that particular product is not available in this part of the world as yet. So you have to wait a little longer before we get it registered. Can balanced oil help a person who has fatty liver? Indirectly, yes. A person who's got fatty liver has to start reducing his fat intake. Probably this person needs to cut out fried food completely. Many of them are overweight. They have to cut down their weight. And a large proportion of them also have diabetes. They must get their sugar under control. Okay. Now, when this causes are removed, now the liver can heal and remove that excess fat. For that process, omega-3 is very important. So if you do your due diligence, omega-3 will help you. I have prospects with diabetes, high blood pressure. Will balanced oil help? Yes, for sure. Will it cure the diabetes or blood pressure? No. Why should they take it? Because your diabetes and blood pressure is going to get worse as you get older. That will either slow down or it can stop at this juncture. If the high blood pressure patient is quite new, maybe the last year or two, once they hit the ratio of 1.1:3, not all, not everybody, some people will have a positive reduction in the blood pressure. Can a pregnant lady take balanced oil? I must say compulsory. I don't have to put it that strong. You look at the baby powder that is being sold. They are adding DHA because it is very important for the development of the brain of the baby. In fact, I would say you need balance oil if you plan to become pregnant, because even the fertilization process requires the right amount of hormones, which depends on oils, our essential oils. Um, what is the difference between fresh blood and dry blood? Now, in fresh blood, we have to withdraw the blood from your vein. So you need to go to a lab or to a clinic to get that done. Okay, so we don't need the liquid part of the blood. So that is unnecessary amount of blood that you have to give. All we require is the red blood cell, and that needs only a prick. Okay, why do they withdraw the whole blood for certain tests? Because like cholesterol level, your sodium, your enzymes of the liver is in liquid form, and it is found in the liquid part. So they need that to check that. If all people that always forgot the thing, can memory improve? They might forget to take the balance oil. So better you take the balance oil and remember to give it to them. Now, elderly people have loss of memory, partly because of aging process, and they also have dementia, Alzheimer's, and so on. Now, if you give them balanced oil, you can slow down the process. You are not going to regain youth. All of us have to grow old and die, but it can prolong the process, slow it down. Hopefully, it can stop. Can balanced oil help people with thyroid problem? Yes. Now, don't go and stop your medication because some people have no thyroid hormones. But is the body using the hormones properly? If you use balanced oil, it will help, especially those who have been diagnosed with Hashimoto's thyroid. Now, they need a large amount of balanced oil. I would say double the amount during the early periods. Hormone development during pregnancy. Yes, during pregnancy, your progesterone, which hormone supports the pregnancy, rises a few thousand times. That's how high. And one of the side effects of progesterone, by the way, is to improve your circulation. And that shows in the skin. That is why if you see a young woman who gets pregnant for the first time, they have this pregnancy flush. They look as if they have bloomed, It's because of the high progesterone. That is supported by many things, nutrition and all that, including omega-3.
All right. Thank you, doctor, for your sharing once again. All right. I'm sure everyone today has benefited from your tips and advice. Okay, let us give doctor a round of applause. Thank you so much. All right. I
Thank
think
you. Thank you.
yeah, today we had many interesting questions, and I think yeah, it's always good, to get the questions from the field, and then and if let's say you're not sure, ask doctors during the session. And yes, and I'm sure doctor will give you a very good advice on it. All right. And okay, here in Zinzino, okay, our mission is actually to inspire health and wealth. All right, I'm sure most of you here will have known. So if you let's say you like what doctor has shared earlier, and but have yet start to take our product, okay, talk to the person who invite you to this call and start to do your balance test first. Okay, get yourself tested. All right, and then get yourself prick, and then start your balance oil daily on the for 4 months. All right, continue for 120 days, and then take the test again. And of course, if let's say you like the taste of the products, and my son like the taste so much, okay, personally I also like it a lot, right? Remember to like and share with your friends and families. And of course, when you have 4 customers yourself, all right, Zinzino will reward you a free product for your sharing effort. And of course, when your customer base grows, you can also even start your Zinzino business. All right, maybe I do a quick personal sharing, all right, about this balance oil that I had. Okay, I think I took this when somewhere end of last year, end of December, and the first time when I take it, I find it so soothing. It's I took the orange lemon mint. All right, so I find it so soothing, and it make me refresh the whole day, and about 2 weeks later, after I take the balance test, I realized that I become more focused. I'm able to focus more on my work, on my projects. Even though I might be working a bit later, I don't feel so tired. Okay, that's the first thing that I noticed after the second thing that I noticed after I take the balance oil, and about 1 month in 1 month into taking the balance oil. I realized that it has also improved the quality of my sleeps. I don't sleep long every day, perhaps 6 7 hours every day. All right, but it's like during when I sleep, I'm like baby, I'm just like I sleep so well, and I won't be woke up by my son or by my wife, who will be like walking around. The sleep is so deep, and I can feel the the quality of the sleep has improved so much. All right, and that's about 1 month after I take the balance oil. And about 4 months taking the balance oil, I realized that my nails has also become healthier. All right, I'm not sure whether you are able to see it. I'm not sure whether you are able to see it now, but it's a bit long. Okay, but it used to be quite soft, not so healthy. But now it's like this is like 10 days old. Okay, 10 days old, and I think I got to trim it over the weekend. Otherwise, if I'm a lady, then of course I will keep it for manicure. But I'm a guy, so I feel a bit weird having such a long nail. But actually, because I want to show because over the past 2 weeks, we had a lot of prospect coming in, so I want to show them it actually helps. The balance oil really helps in terms of improvement. So the nails is actually one big major thing that I see. All right, and of course I had heard other testimonies from other customers as well. Some have improvement to skin, improvement to hair, and so forth. So okay, but all of this, you need to try it yourself, or you personally experience yourself, and then share your own stories. All right, so if you have done the test and if you have taken the products, I'm sure you have many stories to share with your prospects and your partners. All right, we know many of you may not be able to explain well about the products, so actually this is where you may leverage on our weekly health talk. Let me just quickly pull out this one for everyone to see. Yep, are you able to see this now? Yep. Okay. We know that not many of you may know how to explain the product to your prospect, and this is where you can leverage on our weekly health talk. We will once again have another session with our nutritionist next week, next Monday at 9 p.m. Okay, Victor Chow, and he will be sharing with you the topic on the 3 layers of protection during a pandemic. Okay, the next Monday session will be in English. All right. And the following week, okay, it will be the same topic, but it will be in Mandarin. All right. So mark the calendars. Okay. We had others topic. You can take a screenshot, or you can go to our Facebook group later. Okay, and because we will be posting this topics out and the links out as well, so you can go there, and attend. All right. So mark the calendars, and I must say his talk is very informative. Very well liked as well. So encourage your partners, encourage your prospect, okay, or even your customers to join the session on next Monday so that they understand the benefits of taking the products daily. All right. And lastly, before the end of the session, since we are at the end of the month, let me just do a quick reminder of our current partner campaign. Okay. All right. So this is the one. All right. Just a quick one. All right. For Malaysia and other soft launch market, okay, when you actually get your ultimate partner kit, okay, and for global market, when you get your better balanced partner kit, you will enjoy 2 promo codes, okay, to share with your new partner, share with your friends, okay. Do remember to apply the code to register your new partner within the 15 days period, or otherwise the code will be forfeited. All right, they can actually start their business by doing the test and take the product, and when they set up their Z for free and start to do their 4 or 10 premium customers, they will also get to earn the 400 euros express bonus. Wow. Okay, so that's why. And lastly, I also would like to remind all partners, all right, to check on your activation. Okay, make sure you have placed an order, you had an order this month already for July, and also the qualification, your whatever RCB, ECB qualification. All right. Okay, at your back office, so that you make sure that you yourself are qualified for this month and next month. Okay. All right. If you are not sure what I'm talking about, okay, please check with your team leaders or contact our customer service for assistance. Okay, we will be very happy to help you to grow your business. All right. And lastly, yeah, this one. Okay. Lastly, let's stay connected with us at the Facebook group. Okay, Team Zinzino Asia. Okay, you can if you have not followed us, all right, you can go to Facebook and then can search for Team Zinzino Asia. Okay, stay connected with us, with the company at these other various social media platform as well. Okay, we'll put up a lot of educational information, Zoom links, okay, product information, all at our Facebook group. All right, you may also like our Facebook page as well. All right, Zinzino and Zinzino Malaysia. Okay, yes, you can screenshot this. Okay, if let's say you are worried that you might forget it, you can do a screenshot and remember to just follow and like every of our social media channels. All right. All right, this webinar is coming to an end. All right, I'm really happy to see everyone again today. Please stay safe, please stay healthy, and do plenty of Zoom meeting over the weekend. Okay, tomorrow is the last day of the month. Okay, so make sure you go all out or contact all your customers, follow up with them. You know, again to remember to place the order. All right, I hope to see you again on next Monday. All right, thank you everyone for your participation and have a great weekend ahead. Good night. Bye bye.